Central Time. We're going to go ahead and get tonight's meeting started. Testimony Thursday. Every single Thursday, we're able to get together as a community, people that have been wearing the LifeWave phototherapy patches for, gosh, for us, it's been just over 3 years. For many of you, 1, 2, 3 years, and for some of you, just really recent. So really enjoyed spending time with you at the Global LifeWave Conference in Anaheim, California. Just an incredible experience there. Got to experience David Schmidt, the vision of LifeWave, where it's going with some new products. Speaking of new products, the Cellulargize Evening supplement is now in all of our back office. I tell you what, we ordered some right away, and the Cellulargize Morning is something I always look forward to. It's got a little bit of creatine, some niacin, kind of gives you that like warm feeling and kind of gets the skin tingling and ready to go. The creatine obviously is great for muscle performance and energy throughout the day. So love the clean products, absolutely love the Cellulargize Evening as well. So raise your hand or comment in there if you've ordered the Cellulargize Evening yet and you haven't. It's a great complement to the patches. So in fact, everything's very intentional. So if you know David Schmidt, everything is intentional. So the patches working synergistically with these really clean supplements that you just add to water. And of course, the supplements helping the patches work more effectively. Vernita talks all the time about not just hydration, but intercellular communication. So the electrolytes and feeding ourselves the right way so that this patch technology can really do its job, reminding ourselves that we can stimulate peptides in our body, reminding ourselves that we're not too old at any age to activate stem cells again that have gone dormant, and actually to remind ourselves how to create brand new living adult stem cells in our body at every age. And so that's why we see testimonies of people in their 60s and 70s and 80s and even 90 years old, and it's just a total blessing. So my wife, Vernita, and I, our 3 boys, Bo, Truett, and Rocco, have been a part of LifeWave since June 27th, 2022. So we're just past 3 years. We've come to call our morning inbox, Facebook, Instagram, text messages, our miracle inbox. And I tell you what, it doesn't get old. It started out with people that we knew, right? Some friends, some family, they would send us a message and they would say, here's what it was like before. I've been using these patches. Here's what it's like now. It's emotional. They're crying. They're leaving voice messages, really incredible testimonies. And then as you continue to be in LifeWave and share it with people who share it with people, you start getting messages from people that you kind of know a little bit. You've connected maybe on Facebook or something like that, and they're giving you their testimony, right? And then eventually they're sharing it with people who are sharing with people, and you're getting testimonies from people you don't even know. But you get to know their story. And does this resonate with anyone? You feel like you know them, like you've seen their journey and you've seen them, just improve their health and have this transformation, whether it be health or even financially with LifeWave, with the opportunity, earning incentive trips and some of the life-changing income, and starting with just earning enough money to pay for your products. I always think sometimes we pass over that, where we discount the benefit of just having a home-based business so you're tax efficient. I guess I do talk about that quite a bit most of the times that I'm on. But number 2, just earning enough money to pay for your products. I think that, if we're on a 2-sleeve monthly subscription for X39, it's about $200 a month. So imagine spending $200 a month and earning $300 a month. Right? Imagine that. You never stop ordering. You have the benefit of wearing the patches day after day, week after week, year after year, as we age, fighting back, that oil Valet commercial, age gracefully or something, it's a bunch of bull crap, right? You got to fight back. Part of my expression there, but we gotta go for it. We got to think of things. And of course, wearing patches isn't the only thing. I love when we listen to David Schmidt, he doesn't just talk about patches. He talks about eating properly and hydrating and sleeping, and different supplements that can benefit and work alongside the patches. So I love that too. When we talk to health practitioners like chiropractors or PTs or massage therapists, we're not saying that these patches are going to replace everything or anything that you do, but really adjunctively coming alongside your therapy, your treatment, your adjustments, your stretching, your massage, that these patches can really remind the body to do what it was intended to do, which is be healthy, recover, have energy, sleep well, have balanced hormones, all of those things. So tonight is Testimony Thursday. I think Renita had a few guests lined up for tonight. So I'm going to look and see the chat here. If you were one of those guests, maybe you could raise your hand or unmute yourself or ask to unmute yourself. Renita got tied up last minute, so I'm kind of filling in here, but look forward to hearing some amazing testimony. I think Amanda was on, and Amanda, maybe you had a guest that was on. So let me see, go through the participants here. So happy that everybody is joining us tonight. Testimony Thursday is by far one of my favorite events of the week. So I think I'm going to unmute Amanda. Amanda, I think Renita mentioned that you might have some guests or maybe possibly yourself that have some testimony. So,
Hi guys, it was actually Susan Gladstein from my team was going to have a guest on,
okay.
but I think something might have come up. So
Okay.
I would actually like to take a minute though and share a little bit of an update for Cody, because so
Okay.
many people on here have followed his story and the reason that we got into patching. And so I would like to make a big announcement to everybody that I haven't made yet, if that's okay.
Please. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we got started in with LifeWave for my husband Cody. He had a back surgery April 2022. Doctors accidentally shredded a nerve that controls his right foot during the surgery and left him with what's called drop foot. So he had an 18-month recovery window that they said, wherever you are during that 18 months is where you're going to be at. There was not a lot going on. And so we started patching after the 18-month point. And they said, you weren't going to have a recover and you're not going to fly again. So you fast forward to now, which is about 36 months after. And he is nearly done with his approval to go back fly for the Air Force. He is going through the process with the FAA. So he's going to be back flying with FedEx. And you guys, he is nearing a full recovery. Like he gets new nerve feelings and growth and things every single week. And so what I love about this story is when you're told something, fight back, guys, take control, right? It's because that's the biggest thing that this company, LifeWave, these patches have taught us is don't accept something because they don't know what your body can do. And that's what the patch does, right? It gives your body the tool that it needs to go and do what it knows how to do. So it's such a great story. He will be going into the simulator in a couple weeks, and that'll pretty much finish that off. He'll do a couple flights at home, and then he is back up operating the KC-135 air refueling jet for the Air Force, and then he'll be flying. He's actually going to switch airframes, I think, when he goes back to FedEx. But anyway,
Amanda, I got to say, obviously this is incredible news. And a lot of us have heard this story from the beginning, right? So I remember when you first met you and you were implementing these patches, and then you introduced your amazing husband Cody, right? And you were like, didn't they say something to him like get a different career or something like that? Like it was
yeah, they said,
pretty
you're a
much
smart
like,
guy. You can go do something else. And we're like,
do something
no,
else.
nah.
Yep. So here's a pilot, right? He's passionate. He's an amazing, expert, pilot. And they're saying you're a smart guy, get a different job, right? So remind us, like what patches did he wear? Did he focus mostly on X39? I mean, I know that I've seen you guys like exercising, so I'm sure it maybe helped him with energy or just aches and pains. Like tell us a little bit what patches he wore, and then a little bit about the process, like how he went, to where he is today, where basically he's back in a simulator. I mean, he's almost through the approval process, which is like, praise the Lord. So amazing.
Yep. So we talk about always just leading with and starting with X39. The reason that we didn't just start with X39 is because we were past that healing window. Doctors say that your nerve is going to regenerate a certain millimeters every day. So from the back to the foot, it was 6 months of time. And so we threw everything at it because time was not on our side. So we started with 39, 49, carnosine, glutathione, and Eon, and IceWave for pain. And
so you're implementing a lot of the patches, right?
Yeah.
You're implementing a lot of the patches. So IceWave is helping with some of the acute pain that he had going on, right?
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Carnosine
And
is the
so,
electrical system, the central nervous system, so some of the
yep,
nerve
and
things.
scar tissue as well
Okay,
is why we put the
okay,
carnosine on there. And so here's what was interesting is we initially just because we didn't know much. And so we just like look at the book, put them all on, and 3 months went by. His skin looks great, his hair is growing in.
yeah,
But what really was even more of an issue at that time was when you change your gait, the issues roll uphill. And so he got really bad bursitis. So I'm talking like heavy narcotics like oxycodone, different things daily, 800 milligrams ibuprofen, and
wow.
steroid injection. So that was actually the main issue at the point.
And so
And
you start getting like compensation issues, right? Because he's putting more weights on his
exactly.
opposite foot,
Yep.
foot, knee, hip, back, all those things. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so the 3 month point went, and I literally was on a Zoom, one of your guys' resumes, and
Yep.
Renita's mentioned put it where it hurts. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, so we moved all of them to that hip with the bursitis, you guys, 3 days. Everything
Wow.
was changing. The inflammation went down. His muscles started firing. He's doing strength and like power moves at physical therapy. And
Wow.
they dry needle and scrape him in, and they said, "What are you doing different? Because you don't have any inflammation anymore." And he's like, "I don't
Wow.
know. My wife is putting these patches on me." I mean, he didn't know what on earth was, what they were at the point. And I just said, just don't skip days, don't skip days. And
Yeah.
at that point is, but what that tells us is that the body had so much inflammation for it
Mm-hmm.
to work through. And we know that can be greater stimulation at the point. So as soon as we moved it, in my opinion, it's almost like a little hint that says, "Hey, body, I know you have got a lot of trauma to work through. That if you could
Right.
help us out on this hip right here," and we put
Yeah.
them all right there. And he wore it like that for, I mean, a good 5, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's where all the strength, and once you get rid of that pain, then you can really start to focus on the healing and things. So
Yeah.
yep. And now he moves him around. He'll put him on his shin. He'll a lot of times he just wears it where the book shows. We've added energy enhancer. We don't even use ice wave anymore because he doesn't have any pain anymore.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
and what I love too, it's a story of patience and discipline and consistency, right? So I think we saw you at, I believe it was Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, right? At the Hard Rock.
Hmm.
Is that when you guys were doing workouts? And already at
Yeah.
that time, we had seen Cody really start to improve. In fact, he was jumping rope, and I mean, like we were just impressed, like with the progress. But what I love about Cody's story, Amanda, and about you is you continue to encourage each other. You start with the X39, but then you realize, okay, we're going to start implementing some of these other patches if we're learning about them. And all of you on the call, I mean, we always lead with the X39. You're gonna, we hear people say they're sleeping better. They're not wearing the Silent Night. They're wearing X39. We hear energy
Yep.
levels improve. They're not necessarily using the energy enhancer patches. They're using X39. We've learned from studies, clinical studies, that X39 increases your glutathione by 30%. So glutathione patches increase your glutathione by up to 300%, but you can get that benefit from X39. But when you're trying to experience more of the benefits, if it's within your budget, right? Try some of the other patches, and it's just a matter of time. And then again, what I love about Cody is this consistency, and kind of, it's like patience almost seems a bit passive, because I know when I see
Yeah.
you guys, you're very focused, you're very determined, tenacious even, right? So working out, like this is the end goal, like he's going to be flying these planes, right? So it's not patience just sitting back and like, praying for a miracle. It's like pray for the miracle and then, walk it
Do the
out, like
work.
go do the work, do the hard work. And so I am so proud of Cody, Amanda, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for your kids, so they get to see their dad, do
Yep.
what he loves and be passionate, and just see that, the body was really designed to heal. And these patches, we don't claim that it cures, prevents, and treats things, but these patches kind of remind Cody, hey, you're not supposed to have, these issues. Your body's supposed to be healthy. You're supposed to sleep good. You're supposed to have energy. Your tendons and ligaments and muscles are supposed to be balanced and functioning. And it's amazing now you guys wearing the patches over 36 months. Like you said, you just continue to see these benefits. So, Amanda, thank you so much. Give Cody a
Absolutely.
huge hug for
I
us and
will
tell
do.
him, we're proud of him. I think we have Ashley on here as well. Ashley, so okay, perfect. So your pin, Ashley, I don't want to steal your thunder. I know that you've got an incredible testimony too. Thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your story with us. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what's been going on with the patches.
Yeah, so actually, I'm really new
Yeah.
to all of this. I attended my first call with you guys last week.
Yeah. Welcome back.
And thanks.
Yeah.
So Susan Gladstein is a really good friend of mine. And she just, she's really, we live in Phoenix, Arizona. She's really big in our community. She's a retired Air Force lieutenant. I mean, she's a mom. She's just all the things that women aspire to be, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I was having some really serious health issues back in April of this year, 2025. Um, I was 41 years old at the time, and I was told that basically I was in full-blown menopause. And nobody could tell me why. Just my labs were like all over the place.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I started the X39 and the Eon patches in July, and my lab results last week were almost all of them were within normal limits.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I do have polycystic ovarian syndrome, so that's what's, other people call it PCOS.
Yep.
So I've struggled for quite some time with that since I think I was diagnosed in 2012, but like hormonal cycles, all of that's always been all over the map. And so I've struggled with depression as a result of that because nothing, my hormones were imbalanced. And I feel probably better now than I've ever felt in my life. And so last week when I was attending this call, and you all were, I believe, in California,
So it's bad
and I
internet
was,
connection, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I should also let you guys know I work in neuroscience. So
Oh,
I am not about to just jump on any product. Like I have
right.
to see the data behind it. I want to know all the details because that's what I study investigational products before they're approved by the FDA. So, I'm on this call last week and I see this glow in your wife. And I'm listening to all these testimonies and I just started thinking, I'm like, I bet that my labs are back within normal limits because of these patches. And I
Mhm.
like really hadn't put two and two together. And so 6 days ago, I decided I'm going to start sharing this with my friends. And I started sharing it with my friends. And I think today Susan congratulated me that I did I'm like a 1-star manager or something like that.
Messenger. Great job. That's
So
awesome.
I'm like, I had no idea how much this business or how much LifeWave would impact my life. Like I really had no idea what I was stepping into. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me. And now I'm just like I'm gonna share it with more people because not only is it something that impacts our health, but financially it's a really potentially it could be a really nice stream of income.
It
Um,
really is. Yeah,
yeah. So
100%. Ashley, I mean, I just want to formally welcome you to this, like you said, amazing community, amazing culture. Last year's convention was Be the Light. This year is Share the Light. And it's kind of leading in love and leading in, I don't know, just looking to meet people where they are, but not to empathize and coddle them and like, oh, I understand. I'm sore too, or I'm sick too, right? It's more like, that you're ready to hurry. And so like for you, you've identified with some of those challenges, like for a while, like, you said the dates in which you started. And, when you started wearing the patches, what patches did you wear?
it was the X39
Okay.
and Eon. Am I saying
Mhm.
that right?
Yeah.
AEO and Eon. I think that's how I've
Yeah.
heard you. Um,
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah. So those are the two that I wear. I actually have them on now.
Hmm.
And I can tell such a difference when I don't wear them.
So do
Like
I.
if
I just took my X39 and put my Eon on.
oh yeah.
So, actually, we asked David Schmidt about 3 months into the business. He's the inventor and founder of this technology, right? He's still the
Yes.
chairman of the board. He's the owner of all these patents, which is really rare, by the way, to have a company that owns the patents that, hires out the third-party clinical studies. And we said, David, what patches do you wear every single day? And he said, well, the X39, right, is by far the hero product, the flagship product. It's got such a broad range of benefits. So X39 in the morning. And then he said on the call that he wears the Eon, the YH Eon, either during the day or at night. So he'll take the X39 off and he'll put the Eon on. And he talked about in 15 seconds, the ability to, by studying the blood, urine, and saliva, that the Eon is able to put us in this rest and digest or parasympathetic state. And we need to be in the sympathetic state during the day where it's high performance and you've got a lot going on. Getting the kids where they need to go, sports events, owning businesses. They call it the gig economy. So most people have multiple jobs. So you have to perform, right? But at the end of the day, you want to shut things down and you want to rest and heal and digest, right? And you want to get into those deeper levels of sleep. And what I love about Eon is it does that really quickly for you. It gets you out of that fight or flight and gets you into that parasympathetic rest and heal, rest and digest. And what David said is, then the stem cells are super productive because they don't have to fight through all that inflammation and all that cortisol. And so I love that you're wearing that combo. It's very smart. If that was Susan or Amanda, whoever coached you and helped you, select those. The core package, by the way, that's $295 wholesale. The most common adjustment when people customize it, like let's say it's husband and wife, is to remove one of the X39s because it starts with 3 X39s for $295. They'll take one X39 out and they'll put 2 of the Eons in. So for husband and wife, you've got X39 and Eon for him, X39 and Eon for her. Or if you're not married, you've got, a friend or partner or somebody that you can share it with or sell the patches to. It's just a really great way to customize. And then obviously when you look at the advanced packages, Advanced Plus or Premium, you're getting bulk discounts, but being able to add some of those Eons is really smart and really effective. So you were steered in the right direction and coach. So kudos to Susan. Ashley, what did you say that you do for a living? I heard you mention it, but we kind of passed over. It was quite
Yes.
interesting.
So I work as a neuroscientist and I'm in strategic partnerships at Arizona Neuroscience.
Okay,
And
amazing.
I have my own company. It's called Axiom Clinical.
Okay.
And I work in the pharmaceutical industry.
Huh.
So I study usually phase 2 through 4 and post-market drugs. So once before they
I
get
find
to
it
the
fascinating.
FDA, but no
Oh my God.
animal studies. So
Okay. So I think I just find it fascinating that LifeWave, through other people, right? Not LifeWave finding you, but through Susan, right?
Mhm.
Through Amanda finding Susan, through other people are attracting the best people, right? The smartest, the most innovative, the people that are wanting the accountability and wanting to, get educated and people that are searching, right? Looking for answers, wanting to be healthy, not getting stuck with your own diagnosis to say, well, this is it for me. This is it for the rest of my life. And I've got some, side effects, but there'll be something for that, too. And then next thing you know, decades down the road. So I just, again, I want to welcome you. I'm so happy that you're a part of this. You're an important part of this. There's a place for you here and you're going to impact a lot of lives. So thanks for sharing your testimony tonight. Amazing, beautiful testimony and just incredible. And the good news is you just got started. I can't wait to hear from you like in 3 months and 6 months and a year and 2 and 3 years from now, right? So it's exciting.
I'm really excited to be here. Thank you
Yeah.
all for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ashley. So, wow, I mean, hearing testimonies like that, Ashley, thanks for getting on tonight and kind of, using your testimony to inspire other people and Amanda too with Cody. My goodness gracious. So, it's a testament to what the patches can do over time. It's almost like we got both ends of the spectrum here. We have Cody's been wearing the patches for over 3 years, and Ashley's been, a week or two. She's getting started and joined us on the call last week. And so you kind of get a feeling for, what can happen when you're a part of this really life-changing, for the better, life-changing opportunity with LifeWave. And I like how Ashley said too, on the financial side, it's a smart money move. You're able to earn some income, and the good news is you don't have to clock out of your current job and then clock into LifeWave and work for 4 or 6 or 8 hours with LifeWave. A lot of times it's just the same conversations, the same time that you're using throughout the day, and you're just leveraging your own time better. So when you say, hey, how's everything going? you know, and they come to you with a goal that they have for their physique or weight loss or energy, or a 5K that's coming up, or a wedding or vacation that's coming up they want to be in shape for, or they come into you with some sort of challenge or sickness or whatever they say, you can meet them with a solution. And you can say with authority and confidence that, you know, you have something that you think they're really going to love, that you know they're going to love. And so we want to kind of move into a brief presentation. And this presentation can be found at our team training website, which is www.thisisitteam.com. So if you go to thisisitteam.com and you click on downloads, in fact, I'm going to do it for y'all right here. So I'm going to go to This Is It Team, and I'll make sure I'm sharing my screen here. Renita's a lot more proficient with this laptop. This is Renita's laptop. So This Is It Team. So This Is It Team is our team training website. I'm going to switch over to our information page really quick, thisisitinfo.com. So at thisisitinfo.com, this is what we're sending out every single day. When we meet somebody, Renita met somebody at the beach today, they were running sprints, she's sending them either something from the LifeWave Now app, which is like this newly enhanced app. We just got off a training call with Steve and Sherry with LifeWave Now, and so it's a great app. Or we're sharing a little bit of information from This Is It Info. And we don't just send people the website. We send them to the website and we say, scroll down a little bit and watch the 2 or 3 minute video there that talks about activating your stem cells and the power of community and network, right? Scroll down and learn what is phototherapy. And I always use the example of, everyone knows what phototherapy is. When you go outside and the ultraviolet light, the sunlight hits your eyes and your skin, and your body naturally produces its very own safe, effective vitamin D. And that vitamin D is even better than an IV. It's better than a vitamin D supplement because your own body created that vitamin D through phototherapy. So you don't have to decide, can I break it down? Is it safe? Can I use it? Your body knows exactly what to do with the vitamin D that your body is producing through phototherapy from the sunlight. Now that's phototherapy. So our patch technology, right, doesn't use the sunlight. You can wear it like me under the shirt. No one would maybe know that I have it on, but it's using my body's infrared heat and light. And so through this patented technology, it's absorbing infrared heat and light and sending it back into specific organs and sending it into my skin, which is stimulating peptides based on whatever patch you're wearing. The X39 is stimulating this GHKCU copper peptide. And as Dr. Leland Stillman said, I just watched his video at This Is It Info, and you can scroll down to watch this as well at This Is It Info. You can scroll down to our medical doctors panel, and you can click on LifeWave X39 copper peptides. And Dr. Leland Stillman explains that insulin is a life-saving peptide. But all of a sudden, there's all this research and science and books being written on peptides. And he said, you know, the patch technology is working because it's naturally stimulating these peptides. So a lot of great information here. Go to This Is It Info, find what you like, and then send those links to other people. It's a great way for you to share in a very professional, very entertaining, way. So This Is It Info. So I'm going to go back over to This Is It Team. And so at This Is It Team, you can click on the menu tab right over here in the top right-hand corner, and you can go to our downloads, right? You can go to our YouTube. You can go to our schedule of events, right? Or This Is It Team YouTube. So back here on the headings, you can check our This Is It Team YouTube. We've got live events from different people going on every single day who are a part of This Is It Team. So you're all a part of this team as well. By the way, we're the fastest growing team in all of LifeWave. LifeWave is the fastest growing company in all direct sales, which is a $300 billion industry. So when people say, is it one of those things? Yep, it's direct sales. You buy from your phone, from your computer, a lot like other products or companies. However, we're the fastest and most momentum company in that industry, $300 billion industry. So This Is a Team. You go to menu, you click on downloads right here. And at downloads, you can see opportunity slides. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm still sharing that. So your opportunity slides, I'm going to go ahead and download that. And then I've already downloaded it on my computer. So I'm going to go over here to this slideshow. So I'm going to start with the slideshow from the beginning, and you just kind of go through this in like 10 minutes or so. The question is, have you been patched? Thank goodness, Cody was patched and Ashley was patched, and you can see the benefits and really what an impact can make in a short-term and a long-term basis. So absolutely amazing. And so thankful for the testimonies. The next slide is actually a video. I'm not going to play it tonight. It's just a couple minutes long, but you can find this video at the
I don't
very
think
top
you're sharing the screen, Scott.
of This
Sorry.
Is It info. Yeah, let me make sure I'm sharing the screen. There you go. Thank you. Was that Sherry?
Yes.
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate your help. So yeah, so absolutely incredible video. Let's see, I'm going to get to the next screen here. So David Schmidt, raise your hand or comment one word in the chat that describes David Schmidt to you. For us, he's brilliant. He's a genius. He's faith-filled. Our very first Zoom meeting with David Schmidt, he said, a lot of people compare him to superheroes like Tony Stark, Iron Man, because he's an inventor. And he talked about, these superpowers to like change the world and help people. What's one word that you would describe David Schmidt? If you've been on Zoom calls, or better yet, if you've seen him in person, like at any of our This Is It team events or at the global conference, one word that describes David Schmidt. So a lover of God, lover of his family, lover of his wife, Christina, beautiful, strong woman. It was really cool, wasn't it, to see David and Christina up on stage together, kind of working together and having some fun up there, but just innovative, 200 plus patents. He's the science and the innovator. In 2008, David changed his focus on not just phototherapy, but on stem cell research. And then over the next 10 years, $4.5 million in research and developing the product X39. So, the patent is absolutely, incredible. And we share the patent every day. Now, if you're sharing on Facebook, if you're sharing on a lot of social media stuff, you may have gotten notice from LifeWave Compliance that said you can't say stem cells. You can't, we are a recognized FDA wellness device. So we can't make drug claims because we're not a drug. Thankfully, we're not a drug. There's no chemicals or drugs in the patch that leach into the blood or into the skin. Thanks for all the comments about David. As you can see, if you're new, how much this community just loves and appreciates and admires this incredibly brilliant, humble man. So, but the patent says, so sometimes we'll just read the patent as a result of elevating copper peptides, including activation of stem cells, improvements of energy, elevation of antioxidants, a reduction of inflammation. As I'm reading these, think to yourself, who that might benefit from these things. Energy, antioxidants, not an antioxidant drink that you're buying from Walmart and you hope that it's got anything in there that might help you or something, or any other company for that matter. Your body's generating its own antioxidants, so your body knows just how to use them. Management of pain, reduction of inflammation, improvements of stamina, elevation of collagen production, and wound healing. So, just really remarkable, the benefits. And this is in our patent. So we'll just read the patent. I'm not, claiming that it can cure, prevent, or treat, but we've been able to prove scientifically and validate that these claims are there right in our patent. So we know that stem cells make up every organ in our body. As we age, our stem cells go dormant. Isn't that a bummer? It's like the more we need the stem cells, the less active they are. And so what we're doing with this patch technology is we're reminding our body that you were meant to create stem cells, and these stem cells are supposed to stay active and living and flow throughout the body and look for where it needs to be. But by the age of 30, only 50% of our stem cells are active. And that is so young, right? Now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, my goodness, 30 years old is so young. But we have, children, and of course, we haven't done a lot of research on stem cell reactivation in children, right? Because they have 1 billion stem cells flowing around their body. But because there's no drugs and chemicals or no counterindications or counteractions with medications, that we've generally found it to be very safe, for children as well, for athletes of all ages, all the way through middle school and high school and college, for performance, for recovery. At age 60, this is a kicker, right? Less than 10% of our stem cells are active. And so right away for me, I go back to thinking about, all of my friends and all of my family, that I want to share it with. And to be honest, I don't get stuck with those people. So if I share it with the people I love the most, we call it core 4. Who are the 4 people that you love and you want them to save money? So you're not going to sell them a sleeve at retail for $150 a sleeve. You're going to show them how to purchase at least the core pack, so they're getting wholesale prices. Who are your core 4, right? And then, of course, we have a fast start 21-day plan where you're looking for people on advanced packages. You're looking for 8 people in 21 days on advanced packages that want to save money by getting a bulk discount, and already thinking about people they want to share it with, right? But if I tell those people that I love, my family and my friends, and they give me some pushback, I don't take it personal. It's not a reflection of me or Renita or our boys. It's not a reflection, certainly, of the genius of David Schmidt, all the patents and clinical studies that he's done. It's not a reflection of LifeWave and their ability to manufacture these products, to research and development, to send the patches to us, to have a 100% money back guarantee. It's not a reflection of any of that. It just has to do with where they are in their life right now. And for whatever reason, they're afraid that it might not work. They're afraid of spending a little bit of money. It's not on the TV commercials, right? You are the advertisement for LifeWave. We're pushing to do $1 billion in revenue in over 85 countries this year in LifeWave. LifeWave pays out 60% of that revenue in referral commissions. It's the only way LifeWave grows. And so a lot of times, when you tell your family and friends about phototherapy, about the X39, about LifeWave, it is maybe the first time they've seen it. And they're looking at this sticker, like I was, and going, how in the world does that do anything? I just don't get it. And so then we send a little bit of information from This Is It Info or from your app. We tell them some stories. We send them to This Is It Info, and they click on testimony so they can hear from other people, and so, but we don't take it personally, and we don't get stuck there. If they say no, the last thing we do is try to keep convincing someone who's maybe not interested that they should do something that will be extremely positive for the life. But we say, is there anybody else that wants to look and feel younger, right? That maybe has aches and pains, that is setting some performance goals. Anybody else you think I should reach out to? Or anybody else that knows it's really, really smart to open a business from your home? It's really tax efficient. It's really a smart money move. Is there anybody else that And if you change your mind, I'm here. One of our teammates, Brittany, actually said at the last conference where we were, there was a kind of a leadership event prior to the global conference. And Brittany said, I think she said this on Sunday also at this team event, the 1 Million Stars event. Brittany said, when you change your mind, and when someone else will bring up these patches to you down the road, whether it's in a week or a month or 6 months or a year, when you decide to do it, will you honor me by coming back to me and getting started with, because I'm bringing you this idea today. I thought that was a really great statement. Will you honor me and come back and get started with me? Because I would really love to help you, So you have an opportunity to help people with a solution. And in life, financially, we get paid to help people solve problems. And aging is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big problem. Is anybody aging on the Zoom call tonight? Or is it just me? And so everybody's got this problem of aging, right? And so here we can come with a solution. Nobody knows about stem cells going dormant. They think when you say stem cells, you're talking about flying to Mexico and getting stem cells that were manufactured in a lab, and God knows where they got them from. And so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about activating your own body stem cells. The problem is also, in addition to health, is that people are struggling financially. They call it the gig economy. People have a lot of jobs, a lot of ways to make money. And we're trying to make smart decisions with our time. And so, it's a great way to leverage other people, helping each other. And so LifeWave offers this solution, stem cell activation, and a really impressive income generating business. So how does it work? Proprietary form, which just means it's owned by LifeWave and the patent. So they don't tell you exactly what's in it, but kind of like we don't go outside in the sunlight and open our mouth and ask for what the ingredients are in the sunlight to how the vitamin D is impacting us, right? And being activated. The phototherapy patches are no drugs, no chemicals or stimulants. It reflects your body's infrared heat and light. It's non-transdermal, which means nothing in the patches like leach in through your skin. And these are just some of the benefits. These are some of the benefits that are going to be at your website and LifeWave's website. So these are compliant claims that we can increase strength. If you go back here, because these are important. And in your mind, again, think about, imagine if you had more and more and more of these things every day, compounding more and more, week over week, month over month, year over year. For me, it's been 3 years and a few months, and I've lost over 90 pounds. I'm waking up feeling amazing. I've had 7 knee surgeries and a bicep tendon surgery and a torn calf muscle. And that was the old me. I don't identify with any of those things anymore. I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm flexible. I love everything about these phototherapy patches really helped me. But imagine if you could do this day after day, week after week, month after month, increase strength, reduced inflammation. Imagine other people in your life that are praying for breakthrough in some of these areas. Mental clarity. Where's my keys? Where's my phone? Who am I supposed to text back? I can't remember their name. What's their last name? What's their number, right? But restored muscular and skeletal conditions, improved sleep, improved skin appearance, energy and vitality. These are just some of the things that we get to experience with LifeWave. But the long-term results are quite impressive. And some of these things are things that you can't feel going on in the body. So what does it feel like for 4,000 genes to begin to reset? Not really sure what that feels like, but I know that my genes, when I was a teenager, didn't go through all the aging, all the stress, all the fighting, all the poor food, all the alcohol, all the inflammation and the cortisol, right? And so I want those younger genes. And so this phototherapy technology allows me to reset my genes back to a healthier state. Brain becomes balanced, collagen increases. And again, not collagen from a supplement. Your body is reminding itself that you can create your own collagen, and your collagen is for your skin, your nails, your hair, your teeth, right? So it's very much a cosmetic, and we all want to be beautiful and handsome and feel good about our appearance. But collagen also makes up our artery walls, our organs, our veins, our arteries. And so collagen is crucial to the foundation of our health. And then heart reverses in age. Renita and I just did a biological test through our doctor, Dr. Amanda Messer in Bismarck. And, of course, my chronological test age is 51, but my biological age was 42. And I said, I can't wait for me to go back in 3 months or 6 months or a year. I'm a little bit compulsive. I want to go in like a week already to test it, but I'm confident that my biological age is going to continue to improve. Renita is like in her upper 40s, and her biological age was 32. So we've got a competition going on. Renita's kicking my butt. She's doing amazing. But in addition to our biological age being much, much younger than our chronological age, which is really rare, Dr. Amanda said, but what was even more rare was all of our organ functions, all of our organs were green. And she said, we just don't see that, especially in your late 40s or 50s. We might see 1 or 2 organs that are functioning in this optimal green, level, but then we'll see mostly yellow and orange and a few red, or unfortunately, we see a lot of red and some orange and yellow. We almost never ever see green across the board for all of your organs. And she said, Renita and Scott, you both had across the board organ functions, all of your organs in the green. She said, I just don't see that. And so what did she do? She joined her LifeWave business, right? And she, a lot of chiropractors already believe in phototherapy. They're using phototherapy beds and lasers. They're using frequency devices like PEMF mats and different things like that, right? So they're familiar with phototherapy. And what I love is now they have a tool that can go home with their client, that can go home with their patient. So if you're in massage or stretch or PT or chiropractic, or if you're like me and you're not in any of those industries, but you just want those benefits for yourself, not just when I go to the chiropractor. I don't want to say, I'll see you in 2 weeks and get another adjustment or some sort of light therapy. I want to use this every single day. And these health practitioners really, really love that too. So how do you wear it? Put the X39 on in the morning. We call it habit stacking. So whatever else you're doing good, maybe it's saying a prayer, brushing your teeth, getting your day started. Now you're adding to that habit of putting an X39 phototherapy pack. It's the easiest thing and the most impactful thing that you can do for your health. I told Renita, I said, if I can't do this, just like I'm in trouble. I put the sticker on, I wait 12 hours, take it off, throw it in the garbage, wait 12 hours, go to bed, tomorrow morning, put a new X39 on, right? We talk about getting good hydration, not just hydration, but electrolyzed minerals or electrolytes, right? The testimonies of X39 are emotional and life-changing, like you heard from tonight. Imagine someone telling you, find a different job. You're no longer going to be a pilot. You don't say that to Cody, you don't say that to Amanda, right? Especially when they've got, tools when they're searching, right? They're like pit bulls, right? They're champions. And so they find things that are going to help. And so 3 years later, here's Cody. And, I'm messaging him. He's like, oh, I'm in the simulator, right? I mean, we're just like cheering for this family, right? And then Ashley, just explaining how quickly, things can turn around and the test results are amazing. And you no longer have to identify with some sort of prognosis or diagnosis, right? So again, just a reminder, this is at info.com. That's where all the information is. Here's LifeWave in the finances, 2021, $21 million, $20 million in revenue globally. And then we launched X39. And don't worry, you didn't miss the boat. I mean, when I we're in Santa Rosa Beach. When I go out there on the beach today and I'm walking around, the next 100 people I see, not a single person's wearing patches. And we have a team out here. We have some amazing, beautiful, smart, intelligent, like energetic, passionate LifeWave team members out here. I saw 100 people. I didn't see anyone with patches, right? And so you're not too late to the party. You're actually coming to LifeWave at the perfect time. But LifeWave's gone from 20 million in sales. Last year we did over 600 million in sales. And remember, the only way that LifeWave grows is to pay out referral commissions. They don't have a budget to grow any other way. And so we're the #1 momentum ranked direct sales company in the entire industry. It's over a $300 billion industry. And our system is proven. And so our system allows you to duplicate, like this presentation can be found at This Is a Team. So we're going to do another meeting next Thursday, Testimony Thursday, but you don't have to wait until Thursday. You can do your own meetings. You can share. You can use This Is It info. So these are free resources that you can use to market your business. And then we really just talk about, it's not about us. I mean, I know that, we're on Facebook, we're sharing our journey, and, we're obviously, a lot of us just got back from a global conference, which was amazing in Anaheim, California, but you're here tonight and this is about you. I mean, I want you to reflect a little bit about, what is it that you saw in LifeWave? What's your why? What are your goals? What moves you to tears? What is it? Is it wanting to be with family? Is it security and safety? Is it paying off debt? Is that you're always working and never having the fun? A lot of times we start the job because we're passionate about being in that industry, and next thing you know, you never have time for the people that you're passionate about or even doing anything in that industry because you're working so hard. And I have a lot of admiration and respect for that work ethic. Both Renita and I were raised that way. But this is a smart money move. This is a smart way to own a business. It's tax efficient. You get to leverage a lot of people. And so we have as many health testimonies as you hear. We have incredible financial testimonies. And it's just, like I said, a really smart way to, of course, the proven systems franchises, right? Like a Chick-fil-A is $2.5 million. It's a proven system. I think the more proven it is, the more expensive it is, right? And so, that's not available for a lot of people. And then guess what? Don't see your family for the first couple of years, right? How about small businesses? The average startup for a small business is like $45,000 a year. And it takes 2.5 to 3 years to even break even, to pay off your expenses and your monthly, negative outflow in cash, to step into your very first dollar in profit. And what's happening here is like people like April Lund. I'm not sure if she's on the call. She's sending us a message. She said 8 days in, I went 1-star, 2-star, 3-star manager, and then I went 1-star director. And yesterday I earned $2,000, And so you don't have to wait 2.5, 3 years to break even. You can profit today, regardless of your knowledge, and you don't need to learn everything before you start sharing. You've got these great resources. So the compensation plan is amazing. You get shared, you get paid by LifeWave. Again, it's the only way they grow. You get paid to share LifeWave with people, and you get paid to build teams. So remember, LifeWave, if we do $1 billion, are going to pay out $600 million. They pay out 60% of their revenue. So they have to get creative in the ways that they pay. So they actually have 9 different ways that they pay you as a LifeWave brand partner. One of them is called binary commissions. This is you building a team. And sometimes you think of it like sharing it with someone and they say, well, I just want to buy it wholesale. I want to save money, but I'm not going to share it with anybody. That's perfect. We don't try to convince anybody to do something that they don't want. Enjoy wholesale prices, order a little, order a lot, get on a monthly subscription, whatever. You're in the driver's seat, right? Some people are going to say, you know what, Denise, I'm going to share it with a few people. I can think of a few people that when I start something, they're going to want to start this with me. This is just what we do. When I do hot yoga, they want to do hot yoga. When I, January 1st, we're starting to, I'm thinking of a couple people. I'm not going to build a business, but I'm thinking of a couple. Perfect. If that's how you want to get started, right? It's amazing. You're in the driver's seat. We have people saying the stem cell industry is a multi-$100 billion industry. There's no other way I could captivate or be a part of that stem cell industry other than this opportunity through LifeWave. And so I'm going all in. Here's my chance. Here's my opportunity. And that's exactly what Renita and I did with our boys. We sat down with our sons and we said, listen, we're going to treat this like we opened a Chick-fil-A. We're going to treat this like we just invested $2.5 million. This is our only option. We're going to go all in and we're going to help as many people as we can because we know people are praying for, a breakthrough. And so we're going to get after it and help as many people. So we treated it like we just leveraged the farm, right? And because of that, we were able to have a lot of success. And it's not just because of us. It's because of David Schmidt and LifeWave and all of the amazing employees LifeWave has. It's because all of you on your team And I love hearing your goals, and so does Renita. And we just want to come alongside you. So, 3 years ago when we heard Cody Wallstrom's goal about flying planes, that was Renita's goal, and that was my goal for Amanda and that family. Your goals become our goals, and we're serious about that. We don't want to leave anybody behind, but we're not going to stop and wait for you. You got to move. We're not just walking, we're running to people. So we're not going to leave anybody behind, but you need to move with us. Together, united, we can help a lot of people, right? It's really important. And so we don't want to take this opportunity for granted. Even some of us that have been in LifeWave for a little bit now, for 1 or 2 or 3 years, you start getting some checks. It's easy to get complacent and just feel like, wow, I kind of got this machine rolling a little bit, and now I'm going to sit back. And what I'm going to tell you is Renita and I aren't sitting back. Our sponsors are Steve and Gina Merritt. They're not sitting back. They're being very proactive. They're running out to try to find people that they can help with financial opportunity and with the stem cells. Business launch bonus is a brand new way LifeWave pays you. You have 9 weeks from the day you get started to earn extra income. So like Ashley, congratulations, you went 1-star manager. So when you hit 1-star manager, you're going to maintain that for at least 4 weeks, probably, because you just ordered and those 2 people on your team just ordered, or the couple people that got you to 1-star manager, right? So once you hit 1-star manager, you're going to earn $25 a week, and you can earn that for the first 9 weeks. Right? So you're going to earn $225 extra because you launched your business, the business launch bonus. Now, Ashley, if you're still listening, you want to go as quick as possible to 2-star manager. So with your order, Ashley, and your downline's order to go 1-star manager, if you added up all the point volume, so when you place orders and when your team places order, it creates points. So to go 1-star manager, you accumulated 750 points. Okay. The core pack, for example, is 180 points. The advanced package is 300 points. It tells you, all in there. And so to get to 2-star manager, you need 1,500 points over the last 31-day trailing. And if you can get that, then instead of 25, you're going to get $50. And you have your first 9 weeks to do that. So they call it a business launch bonus. That's for everybody on the call. If you just started, you've got your first 9 weeks to go out there and launch your business and really start to build a foundation, right? It's not just you sharing, it's you and 2 other people sharing, it's you and 4 other people sharing. Imagine when you have 20 people on your team and everyone just finds 1 person that week. No one did anything spectacular. Everyone just found 1 person, right? Like no superstars in the group. All of us just found 1, but you added 20 new people to your team. You found an opportunity today or this week or this year, whenever you join LifeWave, when a lot of people do a little and everyone wins. Together, united, everyone wins. This is amazing, right? So 2-star manager, 1,500 points. Now you're getting $50. Now, if you were a part of LifeWave prior to last week, Monday, when they just added this bonus, it's a brand new bonus, by the way. There used to be 6 ways to get paid. Now there's 9. LifeWave is enhancing the compensation plan. If you were never a manager before, if you were just trying products, but you've been enough meeting with Renita, enough meetings with Sherry or Jaime or John and Teresa Getz or Amanda, or, we got, all these superstars on our team, Terry Beatley. I mean, gosh, all these incredible, leaders on our team, Debbie, Sonia. I mean, gosh, I shouldn't have started naming names. You've attended enough Zooms where you're like, oh my gosh, if they can do this, I can do this. I just need to start sharing. I just need to get out of my own way. I just got to go out there and just start sharing. What do you know about stem cells? Have you heard of phototherapy? I'm onto something. Let me tell you about my test. Let me tell you about my test and what's going on. I can't believe I haven't reached out to you yet. I've got your number, or what's your number again? And I'm going to send you this 3-minute video. I just want you to take a look at it, and I'll talk to you later tonight or later this week, right? So, just go out there. But imagine when all of a sudden you have 100 people on your team and everyone shares it with 1. You have 100 people on your team placing orders, creating points, earning you commissions, right? So the business launch. Mentorship bonus, they used to pay you in 3 levels. Now they just reward you in 6 generations. So they just found ways, like, it's not always the person you enroll who grows the big business, right? Maybe you enroll someone and they enroll a couple people and then they quit. But maybe one of the people they enrolled is like a superstar, and they're like, I know everyone's going to want this. I'm a center of influence. I love network marketing. My old oil company just closed their doors, like a lot of network marketing companies are doing. And now I found a home at LifeWave, and I'm going to blow this up. I'm just going to take this to the top. And they would have been your 2nd or 3rd or 4th generation, right? But if the person you didn't enroll, if they're not doing anything, if they're not at least a 1-star director, they're going to go in depth to find the first 1-star director, and that's going to be your generation 1. And depending on your rank, you're going to get a 5% check match all the way up to a 20% check match on the commissions, the team commissions that they get, the binary commissions. So you want people in your team to earn commissions. Why? Because you like them, you're a good person, you want them to, have some financial success. But LifeWave actually rewards you. There's a financial incentive to be a great leader, to be a good team member. And they're going to do it sometimes with or without you. Sometimes if you don't know them, you're not even really obligated to reach out in depth to people you didn't enroll and say, hey, I want to coach you or help you or mentor you. But they're just on our calls. They're a part of This Is It Info. And as their commissions grow, your check match grows. So this is a really, really amazing. And by the way, this way of paying you is in other industries. So it's like in the investment industry, the insurance industry, the real estate industry. In insurance, if you sell insurance, the premium, you get commission. You sell more insurance, you get some commission. But somebody along the way says, I'm a good businessman or businesswoman. I'm going to open a general agency and I'm going to sell insurance, but I'm going to have a dozen field agents. When they sell insurance, they get a commission, but I get an override because I'm the general agent, right? And so that's this way that LifeWave pays us is very common in network industries like real estate, like insurance or financial planning, where you're networking and you're growing your client base, right? It's generally not this generous, and it's certainly generally not 6 generations deep. So just like LifeWave is innovative with product, they're very, very innovative with the compensation plan. And so you look at your options again, and we talked a little bit about it, but conventional startup versus LifeWave business, high startup versus low, high risk versus no risk. A lot of stress. Anybody own businesses here? How many employees that you're training, you go through the, the interview process, you go through the scheduling, you got them on the schedule, you've trained them for 2 weeks and then they're gone. They left. You got to replace it with someone else, start over again, right? Or just having, multiple businesses with a lot of employees, the stress sometimes that it can have. Long hours versus make your own schedule. So it's not to say that if you treat this like $1 million opportunity over here, that you might work long hours. LifeWave, I mean, we invest as much time as we possibly can in this business, and it doesn't feel like work, I got to say. But you choose your schedule. We're never going to miss anything that we want to be there for. We'll never miss it, right? Because we get to choose. And so you're replacing these long hours and sometimes these like golden handcuffs over here as the business owner, or sometimes even as the employee. You might have a great job, but you're just stuck. It's like no time freedom with make your own schedule. Conventional business, sometimes trial and error, learning curve versus proven system mentorship. And then a lot of businesses, I mean, there's a cap, there's a limit on how much you can make. Certainly as an employee, there's a limit on how much you can make, where over here, there's really unlimited earning potential. They reward you for your effort. They reward you for your personal development. They reward you for your ability to communicate and get that message and get that patch in people's hands, right? And so they're going to reward you for your skill set, for your attitude, for your emotional fortitude. When people say no, you're not go in your room and cry and this opportunity is not for me. I always say Renita's superpower is she gets a no, it's not a reflection of her, right? It's just not for them right now. So unlimited earnings potential. So how you get started, there's an order forms, or whoever invited you on this call, or if you're hearing the recording, they'll have a website, they'll have a link, they can send you the link, and it's really easy. It takes 2 or 3 minutes and you're able to place your order. If you don't love technology, which is maybe half of the room, everyone's on the Zoom call. Everybody's capable of going to a link and signing up if you're able to get on the Zoom. But we got this order forms, and I'll be honest, sometimes we just do old school and we tear the order form and we just say, yeah, let's get started. You've got nothing to lose. Are you ready to change your story? Based on your goals that you're telling me in your budget, is it the premium, the advanced plus, the advanced? Where do you see yourself coming in? How many people in your family want to wear the patches? Can you think of anybody else you want to share the patches with? Help them select the wholesale package based on their goals and their budget. Has nothing to do with us trying to push people into buying a certain package, right? What are your goals? What's your budget, right? And then don't forget about the resources. This is a team. This is an info. Now's the time to make your move, right? When you hear an opportunity, the fastest people to make a decision and to go all in and to get after it are the people that help the most people, right? So be bold with your message, have courage. You're giving people hope. I think at one point when you said, we're kind of like hope brokers, it's like we're going around and we're like, sowing seeds of like hope into people. And it's been really amazing to see transformations, both short-term and long again. So Ashley, thanks so much for sharing. Amanda, thanks for sharing Cody's story. We got to get Cody on here too to share a little bit about his own story. I just see every time I see you, Amanda and Cody, like you guys are getting more ripped and fit. And I know you're working out and doing all the right things. And I know those patches are really helping you with that. But now's your time. Make it happen. Are you serious about your dream? This is hope for your future. And so God bless you. Thank you all for joining us on this call tonight. We are going to post the recordings in our Facebook group. But then also make sure you're going to This Is It team and the YouTube channel, because we have really, really amazing events going on, live events. It'll say right there at the YouTube channel what's live, and you can click on it. We've got Spanish events, going on for a Latino market. We've got, we're growing all over Asia Pacific, Renita and I, and so many on This Is a Team. So, we're, with the app, we're 150 different languages, right? So it's pretty cool. You can hear Renita speak in French and German and Swiss and Korean and, Portuguese and, all these different things. It's wild. So anyways, but God bless you all. Thanks so much for joining us on tonight's call. God bless you, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Again, Renita says hi, the boys say hi. God bless you, and we'll see you all soon. Okay. Have a great night. Have a great day.